All right, so we're talking about cost of living, and you're saying that maybe some business owners should stop putting pressure on their teams or their just their business in general, and maybe just look at home life a little bit and say, what can I tweak at home? I could almost guarantee that most people right now are pulling back on some expenditure. I can almost guarantee it, because if you just look at Instagram right now.
Well, the Reserve Bank governor's asking for it, so I think it's now happening.
Yeah, well, I used to see every weekend on Instagram someone going to a flash restaurant on Instagram, on the stories, right? You're sliding. I'm not seeing that anymore.
Yeah, but that comes at the expense of our customers who are hospitality clients, right? Like you deal a lot in hospitality, and they're seeing the pinch of that, right? Like they're taking it away from small businesses. It's the same thing when it rains. Yeah, rain comes, no one goes to work. Oh, you're not. No, everyone's like, go home. But what it does to retail and hospitality, it just kills them.
They're all nice to have. So.
And then it's
discretionary
like,
spending.
one year they have to shut the store, or you have no customers. And if you have no customers, the person in the business is also at, like losing motivation. Like, why do I want to stand here by myself with no customers? It's just like quite a spiral effect.
So I think, so that's like consumer behavior. It's some business owner or corporate is making a decision, and it's forcing the consumers out of the area, like town. Say the bank says, the flooding's happening or whatever. They pull everybody out and say, go home. And they're panicking. And then your customers who are in hospitality or retail are affected.
Yeah, how are you seeing your customers? Are they affected by
Well, I mean,
that?
throughout COVID, it was definitely a rough time. And a lot of people had mental issues, and it was really just rough out there in the industry. But over time, it kind of just picks back up. But with the recent interest rate hike, cost of living, eggs going up, these small things.
Right, the cost of eggs are crazy.
Yeah, it's just, and the media doesn't help, right? They keep spinning all these things online saying, because of eggs, cost of living going up, brain drain. We'll talk about that later. It doesn't help business confidence at all. No. And business confidence is key for everything, right? If you're feeling confident, you go and spend more money. That's how the economy runs. And people are not feeling confident, they'll tend to pull back, reduce on their spending. The conversation you have are quite negative as well, which I don't like. I'm a very positive person.
Yeah. I'm starting to see some change though. Like it was a lot like that, and it's coming a lot more positive.
It's kind of just settled down a bit.
Yeah, it feels like it's kind of coming. It's going to come right real soon.
Yeah, I think New Zealanders in general are listening to the people that tell them to hold back, don't spend. Yeah. I think that will still be over the next, probably winter. I reckon.
Be sensible.
So get through winter, and then there's like a light at the end of the tunnel. That's how I sort of feel the economy
that's basically what the Reserve Bank's come out and said, right? Without saying it, is all right. We've lifted as far as we think it needs to go, and then all of a sudden, all you see is a down arrow somewhere on some mortgage rate or floating rate, and when all of a sudden everybody stops being negative, starts to have conversations around positivity. And going, it's because they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. There's a little more certainty about where cost of living is going to go. But I think we're still in for some pain in terms of cost of living and the lack of.
What's the most expensive thing? Like, what's the things that are costing people right now?
It's the mortgages, right?
Mortgages, nice
and
cars, these things.
Yeah,
traveling
nice cars not really.
I think traveling is one big thing, right? All these young people, even myself, love to travel. Flight tickets are just insane right now.
Yeah, they are.
To go to Vietnam, it's like $3,000, $4,000.
So in terms of necessities, though, it's like your petrol, your food, your interest rate, your mortgage,
I think eggs
your rent.
made a difference, man. That was a bad call.
The eggs?
Yeah, we can go on about it. But
what happened with the eggs?
Well, you need eggs and everything. Bread.
Well, for your muscles.
High protein diet.
I don't need eggs. So
I don't need eggs either.
Well, pasta. It's not you guys, but the suppliers like breads.
Yeah.
People make breads, pasta, noodles, and even bakery, donuts, cakes. Yeah. All of these things needs eggs. Yeah. Any sandwiches need an egg on your bread.
So the cost is going up.
So that sort of just changes the mentality.
Yeah, right.
When a tray of egg used to be $7.
I went to the supermarket yesterday. There were no eggs on the shelf.
Yeah.
I had to take it. It was $12.80.
Yeah.
12 eggs.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, $1 each. And then your kids want to waste
and
it.
then I've got to take the yolk out for the kids. Boil the eggs. Don't there's 50 cents gone.
Don't even go to avocados.
How much are they?
$9.
What?
For an avocado.
Woo. That's why the one I had today, my sushi was rock hard.
Oh, yeah, same.
Just stay away from that. Yeah. Don't eat avocados and...
Yeah, but I mean, eggs is such a necessity. It's the cheapest form of protein ever, right? If you're a vegetarian, you can still eat eggs as well, people. But when the cheapest form of protein goes up in price, it's like triple.
Oh,
sometimes quadruple.
Yeah.
So what are the supply chain type pain are we seeing right now? What are you guys seeing?
I think freight, like in terms of like if you're in retail or you're manufacturing goods and you're trying to bring stuff in, like that's putting pressure on what you have to pay at the counter, like the freight costs, petrol, all that sort of. I get air freight instead of sea, because they need stock, but you have to just pay and people have to pay the extra, unfortunately.
I mean, building supplies, I've heard that there is some easing now in building supplies, but that's always been a massive one just for people building houses and, and all of that. So hopefully that's easing, but that's always been a major supply issue problem. I
think it's just supply issues everywhere, if we're honest. It's everywhere. Trying to get anything done at the moment is just taking too long.
Yeah, I think I'll go back to my spreadsheet because I just lived in it. But I think we could be people can be sensible, right? Like think about your own situation and don't worry about this gas bagging going on in the media and go, there's a problem. We can admit that, but like, what can you do about your situation?
Totally.
And let's have a chat and just figure out what your personal stuff is, what's going on. Because actually, you can make a few tweaks, and it actually might not be that bad. And also, like go hustle for another 5 or 10 grand.
Yes.
I literally had this conversation with someone the other day, and I'm like, cool, your job's going really well. Let's see if we can find you a hustle. 5 grand. That's all you're gonna make. 5 to 10 grand if you can. Yeah. What do you love doing? Yeah. And so it starts to get thinking and. You just pay off one credit card here or whatever it is that you decide to do. All of a sudden it changes the whole position.
I like what you said there. Ignore the noise because there is so much noise out there, So and then focus on yourself and your family and what can work for you. Yeah.
But I really feel for the people who don't like to hustle. Not everyone was born a hustler. Some people just like to live a normal life. 9 to 5, nothing wrong with that. But I hated how these government changes or these price increases, cost of living forces people are not like that to hustle. And that's when unhappiness comes about and people start quiet quitting and things like that. And it just spins and,
Yeah, I'm going to say like everyone's hustling in a different way, Like I think but then when you're hustling and you don't want to have to hustle in the way that you're not used to, that's not very nice.
Yeah, imagine you're earning minimum wage and you never eat out. You never go and spend. You're just a homebody, save all your money. All of a sudden, your groceries double in price, right? You're not going to earn any more than that. And you ask that person to hustle, they don't have time and energy or the characteristic or, not that personality. What's that person going to do?
Totally.
Do they just leave, go to another country? Yeah.
This is what we were talking about last time. That things will just keep getting more expensive because there's no other solution but for that person to go get another job and get paid more or stay in that job and ask for a pay rise, right?
Yeah.
And if they do get that pay rise and maybe it's a cost to serve product and now that product's got to go up $3. So I was saying about I'm not paying $32 for a big breakfast and there was after that session there was a few comments that weekend but like, where are you eating for $32 big breakfast? And I was like, I didn't make it up. I was at in place and I saw $32 big
literally
breakfast.
I paid $32 for a burger. Did you see that on my story? I ate the burger. No, we shared the burger in the end. Like it was like okay, nah. I wasn't even gonna eat, but the kids were eating. I felt hungry, so spent $32 on this burger. Unbelievable.
So what I want to know is what are business owners doing for their teams to help them during these times?
Good bloody question. You mean what are business owners doing for their employees?
For their employees.
Yeah.
For their teams. To help
Probably not a lot other than...
What are we doing?
I
think what everyone should do is, right? It's just the basics, right? And you said it before to me earlier. I think it is the basics. It's having a regular catch up, like a quarterly one at least. It's really hard for an employee to talk about some stuff, so you kind of got to be vulnerable. We always going about, be vulnerable. Tell us your problems so we can help you because that's what you want to be doing for your people. And if you can help them a little bit, then they're going to stay and be loyal to you, right? Like, and that's going to, in your business, going to help drive, I don't know, productivity or culture, and there's going to be this other wealth that's created from it.
I have a saying though, you have to look after number one before you can look after anyone else. You have to. So I think if any business owner is struggling with what they're supposed to do for their own people, look in the mirror first. Use Niren's spreadsheet or my spreadsheet, or whoever's spreadsheet. Get your 3 years sorted for your business and personally.
I agree with that because if you and your company are thriving, then your team will be thriving as well.
Yeah. Then the world's your oyster, right? But if you're coming from a place of, it's all doom and gloom out there, mate. What do you guys want us to help you with?
Yeah.
Nothing? Like, what do you mean doom and gloom?
But I like your point. You have to listen as a business owner. You have to listen to your team, and you have to have regular catch-ups. So you need to be asking about their well-being and how they're feeling and all of that sort of stuff. And hopefully they do open up and as you say, be vulnerable. But I think, that communication is key with small business and their teams.